Hey everyone, welcome to Marketing Stack 2025. I'm Yash Kashid, Group Head SEO Strategy at FTA Global. Today I'll be walking you through the state of search in Indian BFSI industry. We will be looking into how search behavior is evolving into debit card, credit card, mutual fund investments, and other financial related products. With the tools like ChatGPT, Google AI Overview, Gemini, Perplexity, with giving direct answers, people are searching differently now. And how BSFI brands needs a new SEO approach. So let's do a deep dive into this. So let's understand how BFSI niche is actually shaping towards this new search of era, where it is not just about getting discovered, but it is getting more and more visibility. Now, the entire landscape for BFSI niche is actually changing a lot. Specifically talking about 2025, it might be a new turning point for a lot of brands, where loan, SIP, insurance is still start with the Google, but the discovery is changing. AI overview, app-led usage, and near-me queries are reshaping how people are searching. Uh, Legacy players are losing their share, while newbies and nimbler players are actually optimizing better. Our analysis shows that the traditional SEO alone won't keep it up, but discovering how search happens across surfaces is something we are going to look at. Now, earlier it used to be just about ranking on Google, ranking on keywords like Demat, mutual fund, then SIP, loans, credit card. These were the seed keywords for us. But now the search is going and headed towards a more semantic way, where people are searching which are the best debit cards, which are the best credit cards, and how we can optimize for these related queries is something what we are going to look at. Because earlier the plain and vanilla SEO strategy, where you just tag your keyword, put it into a content, and then content used to rank, is not going to work as of now in 2025. Today we have to focus towards more and more creative ways of actually creating content, ranking in a much better way, putting keywords, targeting the semantic length of the keyword, what are the queries being searched on LLMs. We have to understand that, and based on the understanding, we have to play around with the keywords and then embed into the content. It is not just a simple embedding, but definitely more strategic embedding. Apart from that, we are also looking at a space where we are not just inputting the keyword, but we are looking at the intent of the keyword. As soon as we understand if the intent of the keyword is more conversational and more conversion centric, we are going to definitely get more and more exposure towards such queries, and that's what is actually building on more and more revenue. So where exactly the search is actually shifting, let's understand that. Now search is evolving very rapidly. Now there has been a very big shift from branded to non-branded. As you can see, here are some seed keywords which you can see on the right hand side of the graph, where credit card back in July to September 2024, the volume was around 1.6 million. But now, fast forward to today, the volume is actually dropping, and the volume is actually going down around 8K. So that is something which we are looking for all the core categories when it comes to BSFI niche. Not only just credit card, but debit cards, insurance, mutual fund, IPO, health insurance, car loan. Here are some examples which we have considered. But now, while we are looking at where the volumes are dropping, the intent is actually improving as well. People are searching for more and more conversational queries, which is actually giving us an understanding that the audience is actually evolving, and that's what they are searching for. Now, if you look at a graph where we are plotting it, app versus web-based queries. So app-based queries are relatively more compared to the web-based queries, because all the websites and all the brands are heading towards optimizing their website and their application as mobile first and app first. Because as soon as you optimize your website, where you are promoting your application, so that people are interacting with your features, it will give you more larger understanding of how you can keep them into your application and not allow the user to bounce off to some other website or some other application. If a user is actually open a Demat account on your for your particular brand, it is unlikely that he is going to shift to some other brand and then start trading over there. But as soon as if there are any bugs or any lags in your application, then definitely there is going to be a semantic shift over there. But right now we are looking at a space where we are optimizing mobile first. We are optimizing for queries which are more vernacular in nature. That's where the near me queries graph, you can see on the right hand side where Mumbai related near me queries have a around 34% of market share. Then Delhi NCR is 27%. Similarly for Bangalore and tier 2 cities. But now targeting vernacular content is actually going to help the brands to get more and more visibility, where we are going to uncover about the truth and the myths when it comes to the near me queries into further upcoming slides. Now let's move on to the a space where we are actually understanding the landscape for the categories when it comes to BFSI niche. Now, it is not just about the keyword rankings but the category rankings as well, because if a seed keyword is actually having a volume of somewhat 3 lakh 4 lakh, but the entire category itself will have a volume of 1 billion. You heard me right, investment itself is having a volume of 1 billion. Now this volume actually consists of stock pages, mutual funds, then demat account, IPOs. We have bucketed them into one segment which is called investments. Now it is likely that from 1 billion of volume, it is dropping down to somewhere between 600 and 64 million. The entire industry of investment is going down. Similarly for loans, similarly for health insurance, and etc. But now for loans, the drop isn't that much, because if you look at the loans category, it is around 24 million. But in recent times, the loan is actually sustaining and it's somewhere on the same lines. So we have deep dive into two categories, which is credit cards and loans. Further we'll talk about that and understand which is the exact category where you can optimize for, what is the way forward which you can look at when it comes to all these categories. Now mutual fund was down by 30%, demat account was down by 45%. Then it is not just about lower demand, but it is redistribution. People are searching differently, and more specifically, and more on the application, and more on YouTube. So what is happening right now, the search universe when it comes to Google, it is not just limited to Google SERP, but it is expanding and moving towards YouTube, Reddit, Quora, where we are focusing our brands to optimize for. And that's what is gonna give us a more and more visibility. Now our year-on-year and quarterly analysis shows that the surface of absorbing this huge chunk of visibility that the traditional sites used to own at a certain period of time, but now it is slightly shifting in nature. Now, apart from that, we saw that there is a overall drop in the category. This is supposed to be very alarming, but when it comes to creating a strategy where we are not just looking at the search but also looking at the intent of the search, which we previously covered in the first webinar, which was related to search engineering. If you haven't watched that webinar, please do go and watch that webinar. This is going to be super helpful, and once you have a more clarity about that webinar, it is going to give you much better understanding of what we are uncovering into BFSI niche specifically. Let's understand what is the loan segment and what is the loan category looks like, and what are we looking at. So when it comes to gold loan, we have seen that there is an increase of 53% quarter one of 2025. And then there is a slight increase in the car loan category as well. And then home loan queries have grown by 70%, which includes branded and non-branded both. Now, what exactly is happening? What's rising isn't just the intent, it's the variety of the format which is engaging. If you look at the graph where we are plotting multimodal content growth by channel, we can understand what are the applications or what are the platforms which are booming right now. So from previous year, YouTube has seen a growth of 15%. AI overview has seen a growth of 12%, which was launched previously. People also has a growth of quarter on quarter of 10%, and then we have Reddit and Quora, which has a growth of 5%. Now this 5%, 10%, and 15% might not sound that interesting, but this carries majority of the shares on Google SERP. If your brand is not visible on all these platforms, you are no longer visible on Google. Not just getting cited or getting the first rank on Google is not going to help you at all. This is what something we are focusing towards, because as soon as we are creating content which is more interactive in nature, we are embedding a lot of videos on your blogs, you are making your blogs content even more engaging, and the average time spent on your website slightly increase, which gives algorithm a message where people are actually interacting with the content on the website and not leaving the platform. So when it comes to the brand, we generally tend to focus on all these aspects while we are optimizing, not just the simple plain content, but also to understand and optimize for all these four pillars. Now, when we are talking about AIO, it is not just AIO, but definitely perplexity LLMs. Now, as we know that these are gaining more and more visibility, but specifically for BSFI niche, these LLMs haven't grown that much in previous couple of years, but the visibility factor still matters a lot. Currently, AIO is holding the majority of the market share, and we are pretty soon going to see that which is the brand which is currently winning right now on all from all these aspects, because it is not just about topping the volume, getting the traffic, but definitely to understand how you can get the leads, how you can get the revenue from that, how you can increase the count of people opening a Demat account, how you can stop allowing your user to shift from one platform to another, because we see a lot of negative keywords which gain a lot of traction on YouTube, and if brands are not engaging with those queries, you are losing out on a very golden opportunity for your brand, and that actually hampers with the lot of aspects which we are optimizing towards. Now, if we look at the category for credit cards, we can definitely understand what is the shift looking like over here. So credit card volume is shrinking, but the segment like reward cards, lifetime free cards, cashback and fuel are growing 15 to 20% quarter on quarter. Aggregators like Bank Bazaar and Paisa Bazaar dominates the 60 to 70% of the top position, and because of the PPA, which is people also ask, feature snippets and AI overview shows up so often, brands are losing out on CTR. Even if they rank on this, they won't be able to top the visibility which other brands are able to. And the aggregators is having a lot of content on the website, and that is what something makes it more and more easier to be more visible and to take away all the clicks and the traction from all the banking websites. Now, it is not just about the categories, about the overall credit card. Even if the credit card entire search volume is going down, but specifically talking about uh, what kind of subcategories credit card would have, which is renewal card, fuel cards, cashback cards, travel cards. Year on year, it is actually seeing a lot of growth. Now, there was a time when Swiggy and Zomato is actually launching a lot of credit card which are synced with their applications, so that people will end up buying the credit card and engaging with the platforms as well. Now, this kind of marketing tactics helps the banks and the brands to collaborate with each other, and then to have a full-blown marketing strategy in place where they can increase the sale of the credit cards. Now, apart from that, when it comes down to fuel card, cashback card, these are something which is seeing more and more increase on year basis, because when it comes to reward, when it comes to cashback, people are just very attracted towards all the aspects of this. Even myself, I have a cashback credit card of HDFC, which I generally use. I get a 5 to 10 rupees cashback on petrol pump whenever I'm fueling up for maybe 1,000 or 1,500 rupees. I'll get that 5-10 rupees in my bank account. It makes me happy. It gives me a positive sentiment about the brand as well, and about the not losing out on a lot of money. Even if that money might be peanuts, but it definitely matters. And that's how brands are able to cultivate a psyche where they are able to create such marketing strategies where all these credit cards will actually play a good role. But the idea is this, not just about creating marketing strategies, but how you can optimize that strategies, how you can have a proper effect when it comes to getting more and more advantage of these brands. That is something which we are looking at, and that is something which is way more important rather than just uh, focusing on the aspect of not engaging with the people not engaging with the content on your website. So I would like to also talk about the aggregator websites. Now, as I already mentioned, that they have a lot of content on the website. I would say a daily publication like Paisa Bazaar or maybe Bank Bazaar would generate around 15 to 20 pieces of content every single day. They have a news section, they have knowledge centers and whatnot. So them ranking on these queries makes them much easier to navigate and much easier to uh, make there as a one of the top players. But definitely the brand visibility for big players is actually diminishing. We are going to look into that in upcoming slides. Now let's understand what is actually happening with the credit card when it comes to the people also ask app-led queries, because right now what we are looking at is not just about the coverage, but definitely what are the queries which is actually what we call it, playing around with the Google SERP. Now we are seeing a big jump in app-led discovery, UPI insurance, banking apps, and now among all these top queries, near me searches have exploded across tier 2 and tier 3 phases, like loan agent near me, health insurance near me have a 40% of growth YOY, which is year on year. This means hyperlocal content and GMB are no longer optional; they are critical to the visibility. Now, when it comes to local visibility, this is something which is way too important and what every brand should focus on. Because if you are lacking in your local visibility, you won't be able to make it to the top 5 top 3 ka list, which is which is very very important right now, and that's what we would like to head towards. Now if we talk about ranking in, people also ask ranking in AIO. With the lot of content methods, we are able to rank on it. Now, as I already mentioned in my earlier seminar where I was talking about the bluff method, where you are actually creating a content in a very structured way, implementing schemas, putting a content in a very concise manner, in a very precise manner, where all the LLMs and the AI agents is able to script the content, make them read and rank into the entire into their softwares. Now let's understand how we can actually optimize them and what is the AI trend looking specifically for BSFI niche. So basically, if you look at the so if you look at the AIO overviews are now appearing around 13 to 17% in specifically for BSFI term, especially credit card, loan, insurance, Google insurance. So specifically talking about Google Perplexity, ChatGPT cited content with the structured data, FAQs and stats, the brands are getting picked up. Ones who have the structured content, not just the humanly written content, but for LLMs, this is what is way too much important. And if I talk about the near me related queries, as I was talking previously, where we saw that the metro cities is having a very way too much boom when it comes to vernacular content, specifically talking about the Hindi related content, which actually holds 45% of the share compared to other languages. And if your website is not optimized for vernacular content, you are losing out on a very big opportunity. And because what generally happens is when you are actually putting a lot of vernacular content, people are actually able to interact with your website, and the audience which is not used to English as a first language will prefer your website, will prefer your brand first, and then compared to any other websites. So apart from that, we can see that Tamil has a 20% share, Telugu has a 15% share, and Bengali has a 15% share. So all these vernacular content into each specific region, tapping into different market, helps us to keep a good hold over all the queries, and that's how we are and that's what we are also aiming for. So apart from that, if you look at the overall app category when it comes to BSFI niche, we could see that banking apps, payment apps, insurance apps specifically into metro cities are any which ways topping it out. But specifically for tier 3 cities, loan apps and insurance apps are actually are rising a lot. There is a 30% growth in like year on year in loan apps when it comes to tier 3 cities. Now tier 3 cities is something which is not very well versed with the English as a language, and that's where the vernacular language can play a very big role, where you are educating a person how you can apply for a loan, what are the necessary steps you should take, what are the measures or what are the drawbacks of applying for a loan based on the amount and based on the other nitty-gritties of the nitty-gritty of the processes. So apart from that, insurance apps is also having a boom of 24% year on year. So that's what we are that's how the landscape is looking like for the BSFI niche, where people are getting more educated, people are getting more aware, and based on the awareness, the search behavior is also changing. It is not just the simple Google search, but it is more interactive and it is more engaging. And if you are not optimizing your websites for such from this angle, then you're definitely losing out on a very big chunk of a big chunk of the opportunities. Now, understanding how AI is reshaping the Indian BFSI funnel. So over here, we saw that the overall market investment when it comes to AI in BSFI is currently stands at 0.8 billion US dollars, and it is predicted that by 2033 we'll be able to see the overall market size around 8.9 USD dollars, 8.9 billions USD dollars. So that is something which is very astonishing to me as well, because at a scale which we are actually we are improving and we are optimizing, definitely AI is going to play a very crucial role. And I believe a lot of brands like Dhan is actually doing a fabulous job. Like Dhan's 25% of the KYC process is now automatically resolved by AI. EasyBuzz is supporting around 80% ticket resolving via AI. So integrating AI into your brands is something which is very important, and how you can automate the process where human interactions are supposedly very less, and that's how you can optimize in a much neater way. And how we can take those angles into consideration when it comes to not just optimizing the website, but the processes inside your brands as well. So overall, 68% of the Indian BSFI firms have adapted to the AI practices. Now what we are looking at over here is not just about adapting to the AI mechanism, but making the most out of it. How we can not rely on humans to take care of the simple process of customer support or doing a KYC, which is highly automable. Because earlier, back in 2010, back in 2005, it used to be where if I want to open a Demat account, I have to go to an agent, I have to fill a lengthy form, I have to do 50 odd signs and whatnot. But now you can sit at home, download an application, fill out all the details, link your Aadhaar, PAN card, whatever is necessary. Then you can transfer your money to your application wallet, and then you can simply start trading. So the way we are actually heading is a very brilliant way of understanding how the AI is actually taking over. And this is not something happening right now. This has been there in the market in past 5 to 6 years. So automation is something which is happening at a very steady pace, and that's what we are also looking at. So if you are not doing that, then definitely this is something you should consider for your brands as well. Now, let's understand where exactly BSFI brands are showing up in the space, in the digital space, specifically in 2025. Now, if I say for Google search, the visibility remains high for brands, aggregators, and and overall growth potential as well. But when it comes to AIO, brand visibility is very less, because, as I mentioned earlier, 13% of the market share goes to BSFI queries specifically, and they are able to do much better. Like now, for example, aggregator website like Money Bazaar, Policy Bazaar, Money Control, or Grow, or any other larger platforms which is having a lot and lot content in the on the website, is actually able to do a very fabulous job over here. But now, apart from that, what we can look at is Pinterest, YouTube, App Store, Gemini, Bing. These are all the other platforms where the visibility for the brand is actually very less and more for the aggregator website. But now, if your brand is actually publishing a lot more content, which is more focused to from a evergreen perspective, we are actually optimizing in a much better way. So that's what the entire crux remains the same, and we need to focus on the multimodal optimization framework so that your brand is not hurting from a revenue aspect as well. Now, what are the strategic SEO level big bets which you can't lose the opportunity on? Creating vernacular content, as mentioned earlier, for the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, creating structured data for AIO citation, because if you are not implementing schemas on the website, you an AI agent won't be ever able to come to the website and crawl the content on it. Then having a comparison focused landing pages, which is not generally published on your website but published outside your website, where it is linking back to your domain and increasing your domain authority and gives you a chance to be more visible on all the LLM models. Apart from that, having hyperlocal pages which have the map embeds, which is more important from a local SEO standpoint. Apart from that, how you can create more and more off-page assets which can give you more and more visibility and to LLMs, that is something you need to focus on. Now, if Wikipedia, Reddit, Quora are the top sources for all the LLM models, generally that is the major game looking like. And if your brand is more visible on all the platforms, that's how you are eventually getting cited on all these LLM models, which is ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, etc. So let's understand and let's conclude what are other brand doing and how they are able to top on it. So if you look at HDFC Bank. Now we have considered HDFC, but we have considered the HDFC Group as a byproduct of it, and considering whatever comes under HDFC as a brand. Now over here we can look at the overall search volume for HDFC is around 166 million, but the AI visibility is very less. Right now they are appearing around 13k. They are appearing around 13k citations into Google AI overviews. ChatGPT is still stands at 2k. For ICICI Bank, the volume is even higher comparatively to other brands, which is around 51 million in quarter two of 2025. But if you look at the AI citations, it still stand low, even lower than HDFC Bank. So 6k citations which are available on Google AI overviews. LIC is also on the similar line, but now which is the brand which is actually doing a fabulous job when it comes to AI visibility, which is Bajaj Finserv. Bajaj Finserv is having a monthly search of 3 million, but now if you look at the AI citations, which is around 1 lakh 7,000 citations on just AI overviews and on ChatGPT. Now it was very surprising for me as well to see Bajaj Finserv doing so fabulous when it comes to AI citations for all these LLM models. But the major aspect which they have taken care of is creating a lot of evergreen content which is on their website since a long time, and they have kept the basic SEO practice in mind while creating such content, which is more focused towards adding FAQs, having a proper structured data markup, which is giving more and more visibility to have it on to script the content for the LLMs AI agent and then appearing on their platforms. So if you look at from a broader angle over here, as of now, Bajaj Finserv is actually winning and doing a very fabulous job when it comes to ranking on AI. But for their overall brand search, which still stand low compared to all the big players in the market. But right now, if I say your branded volume is no longer used to you if you are not visible on all these AI platforms. So moving forward, uh, uh, being visible more on AI, more on LLMs is actually going to enhance your brand reach and enhance your brand volume as well. So rather than just creating content on the website, we would suggest that create content outside your website so that the visibility factor is actually way more helpful. To wrap up things here, it's clear that how people are discovering BFSI products is currently shifting. From AI overview to applet discovery, from vernacular searches to hyperlocal queries, if there is one takeaway from this session, the future of BFSI visibility won't be about making the most noise. It's about showing up where it matters. Thank you so much for your time. We hope that this gives you clarity on where the search ecosystem is headed.